Have you ever noticed how the nut jobs of the world always try to convince you to trust them rather than to trust what's right there in their face, rather than to trust God? Have you ever noticed that? Now, they can be people who build chips for computer systems, and they'll try to convince you that you should stick something in your arm. They can just be an influencer and then try to convince you that you don't need to listen to God. You don't need to listen to nature. You don't need to take what's in nature. You don't need to have anything to do with any of this stuff. Just listen to them. This is why so many people are sick today. So many people are ignoring, they're listening to influence instead of listening to what God has already provided for us. The Most High gave us everything that we need in order to survive. So for this video, I'm going to tell you about one plant in particular that has just been demonized for a long time, but it's one of the most powerful plants that I grow in my yard and one of the most powerful plants that I've ever used. Let's get into it. This is the comfrey leaf. I have used comfrey for a long time in my garden. Let's just say that it keeps my garden healthy. At some point, somebody decided that they were going to launch a campaign against this as well. Now, I showed you what it looks like fresh. And so let me show you also what it looks like when you dry it. That is what it looks like dried, okay? So fresh versus dried. This product was banned by the FDA. However, it is still available online. There are certain people who are able to sell this. I don't sell this. This is for my personal use. Now, you know, as content creators, we can't say everything that we want to say on these people's platform. But there are a lot more people like me that are members of the G tribe who freely have these type of conversations and who understands and sees the bigger picture. So if you want to become a member and get involved in those conversations and in the private videos, then I'm going to leave the link to my membership about herbalism and some of the things that we just can't freely talk about out in the general public. And as a matter of fact, let me tell you a quick story. Let's just say someone close to me who had a sore that she was told would not heal. And I said, how long have you had the sore? You know, she said a while. It had been a long time since she had the sore. And they were telling her because she was overweight that the sore would never heal, that she would have to deal with the sore, that she would have to keep coming back to get it treated, put the cream on it that they gave her to put on it. None of it was working. The sore was open. It had formed scar tissue around it. It was a wound. And they just told her that she's just going to have to continue to have it treated, but nobody could truly treat it. So at the time, I was operating my business making soaps and salves and other natural products. And knowing what I know about this particular herb, I made her a skin salve and a soap in order to clean the wound well and also to put on top of the wound so that it could help close it. In no time, the wound was closed. It has not opened back up again. So why again has this product been banned? And people are saying, well, if you take it in large quantities, it can cause liver damage. Listen to the TV, all of those commercials that get pushed in your face every day. And it tells you that it can cause liver damage. It can kill you. It can cause kidney damage. It can cause cancer. It can cause this. It can cause that. And they have to do a long, fast, super fast speech at the end of promoting their drug because it can cause damage to you. Of course, if you use anything irresponsibly, that is including natural herbs, and that is also including pharmaceutical medicines. If you use anything too much, it's going to cause you some problems. Did you know that you can off yourself if you drink too much water for your body? How harmless is water? How beneficial is water? But it can still cause you to die. But how many days are you going to go without drinking it? I bet you still drink water. So I'm going to always say, do your research, because I am not a doctor, but I'm my family's doctor. So let's not get caught up with people who try to demonize the industry or demonize individuals who talk about natural healing, natural herbs, and growing things. I use this also for fertilizer in my garden. A lot of people that I know who are gardeners also use this for fertilizer in their garden. A lot of people who I know also make tinctures out of it, and they also make salves out of it to heal wounds on top of their skin. Do your research for yourself. Find out the truth. Stop listening to the mainstream people who are just out for their own agenda. Make sure that you are really doing your research. And yes, absolutely, there are some people who are not going to be able to take these things. But some of the most simple things that we have on hand in our home are very beneficial to us without needing to go and get some lab experiment or letting somebody convince you that you should get poked with something that you don't know what it is. Start reading your packaging on everything. Start asking for the inserts on things before you allow somebody to do something to your children in these offices where they have a financial interest. So let me know if you use this in your garden. If you're not a gardener, let me know if you've ever heard of it. There was one time that the farmers were independent, but when they started demonizing this, the farmers are now dependent on a certain company in order to give them every single year what they're going to do, what they're going to use on growing their products. So thank you to my sis who sent this to me. The plant is still thriving. It's still amazing. We're going to keep on helping our family to be well, because the direction that our country is going in, we don't know when we're going to be back on lockdown, and that lockdown may be for a long period of time. So make sure that you have a variety of things in your garden, in your yard, on your patio, or wherever you have space to sit a bucket and grow some things. All right. I hope this information has been helpful. Let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you guys on the next video.